Hello, happy stampers. This is Kate with Kate's Paper Creations, coming to you with my weekly Simply Stamping. Beautiful cards, simply made. And this is going to be kind of an interesting thing. You get to see my mess because I've been playing for quite a while with various options of what to do, what markers to use, or whatever to get the effect I want. And this is the card that we're going to make. So this is that beautiful ombre in color shimmer, vellum, and it's got a gorgeous shimmer to it. And I did the outside with that, and then I did this on the inside. And I used my Stamparatus and you'll see why. I don't think that disqualifies it because it still stamps paper and ink. It's just how the ink is applied that has changed. So I played around quite a bit with various combinations of what would work. Now, when I did the inside, I couldn't use blends pins because it would bleed through, and I didn't want to do it and cut it out and have it raised in here. I wanted it to just be on the card itself. So I was being picky about that. So on the inside, I used regular markers, and I used fresh freesia and soft succulent. Okay, and that's how I got the inside. Then on the outside with the vellum, I tried using the markers and it just didn't get the same effect. It wasn't vibrant enough for me. So on the outside, I am actually going to use fresh freesia and soft succulent blends pins on the outside. Now this is was kind of a scary thing at first because I go, boy, should I be using these on my stamps? How is that going to happen? What I discovered is that yes, it will dry on there and possibly could stain your stamp a little bit, but I have this StazOn cleaner that's good for removing like StazOn inks from your pads. And I rubbed that on there and it all came beautifully clean. So I think I'm okay. If you have an opinion otherwise, you can let me know, but that's where I'm at with it. So the nice thing about using the Stamparatus, and the reason I am using it, is because it might take several attempts to get the ink on it as complete and as vibrant as I wanted. Okay, so I might have to try several times. And I'm going to do it in sections because these are alcohol inks and they dry quite quickly. I'm not going to do all of the coloring at once. I'm going to break it down into sections. And so I had to have the Stamparatus in order to keep everything lined up. So I'm going to start with just the happy birthday up here, and I'm going to ink that up as best I can with my blends pen. It's a little hard to see this freesia color on that orange stamp, but we'll bring it in, and then I'm just going to press it down. Hopefully you can see that. And see, it needs more. So that's what I did, as I just kept working with it. I don't know if I'm off screen or not, but I'm coloring those letters again. And then we will press them again. And I'm kind of just pressing right on the stamp itself. Oh, it's getting there. I think one more time might get it. So it's a little bit of a fussiness about it, but I'll tell you, after experimenting with all different kinds of applications, this really was the way to get the coloring and that I wanted. So it was worth the messing around. Now, it's not necessarily something I would mass produce, but that looks good to me. Okay, I'm just going to leave that on there. I'm not worried about cleaning it up right now. I'm going to go on to the flowers, and we'll do these top two flowers first and see how we do. it up kind of careful because I don't want it to pull the ink, pull the paper up. Okay, so it's going to need another coat. And I'm going to go ahead and start the next flower as well. Here we go. Oops, I got that in the way. That can be moved. No biggie. Don't move on me. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I should get some more magnets. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's get this big one more time. We're getting there. And we'll hit this little one down here. Come on, don't stick. There we go. Okay, and the little one's definitely going to need a little bit more. And the big one wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more too. Now it could be that my stamp is sticky because of what I was doing. That could be because of the cleaning that I did on it. That could be why I'm having a little bit more trouble with my stamp sticking to the paper when I lift it up. That could be why. I'm not real sure. I'm doing it real slow. Ah, it's looking good. I think my large flower is good enough for me. I'm going to do the small one a little bit more again. I had some trouble with that last time too, so the first time I did it. Really easily. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to clean that. I'm going to bring in my soft succulent and I'm going to start working on leaves. This is the most time-consuming part of this card. You can spend this much time doing any card, I suppose, just in different ways, like all the die cutting you might have to do for a multi-faceted card, or you know, all of that. So you know, it's not necessarily any more time consuming than some other cards that you might make. You're just spending your time doing this part, because once this is done, comes, then the rest of the card becomes much easier. Much easier. So I don't know if any of you have tried this before. Like I say, this is the first time I've ever thought about putting alcohol ink on my stamps. Like I say, and it might not be something that's recommended. But, you know, no pain, no gain. Isn't that what they say? I don't know what you'd say. But you don't know till you try, right? And it is just a stamp set. If I have caused it permanent harm, then I will have to deal with it. That is for me to decide. And it's getting there. That's looking pretty darn good. I need this stem up here. I didn't get that one. So let's get that one in there. And I'm going to stop with that. Okay, I'm going to pick this off Sometimes those things stick so hard I have to get a hold of an edge. There we go. I'm going to pick this off, and I will clean that later because the StazOn works perfect for that. So we'll just clean that up in a little bit. Okay, so there's the front piece for my card. This is that sparkly vellum like I was telling you about, shimmer vellum. And this is a Fresh Freesia color that's in that group. And it is cut, I'm doing a note card size. So a note card is 3.5 by 5. And so this is cut at 3.25 by 4 3/4. So it will leave a little border around. Okay, I'm going to set that up there. Another plus for using the alcohol markers on the vellum is that it will dry better than the others. Okay, now I'm going to cut a piece of, like I said, you get to see my messy tabletop here. I need this to be 7 wide, so, and it's 8.5, so I'm taking off 1.5 inches. That'll give me 7. This is basic white thick. And then I'm going to cut it this way at 5. Excuse me, had to think for a second. At 5. There. That'll give me 1, and I'll do another one while I'm here because I'll make more note cards. Stampin' Up! Does sell note cards and envelopes, so you don't have to do them this way, but I happen to have quite a collection of, so then you're going to score it at 3.5 of envelopes for this size card. So I'm making my own just so I can do that. Okay, so yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now we're going to do the inside one, and this is the one, oh, come apart, you little stinkers. This one we're going to do the other design, which is this smaller one. And I'm going to just put it right in the middle of this, like this, and get it picked up with my Stamparatus. And then this time I'm using the markers, same colors, Fresh Freesia and Soft Succulent. And I'm just using the markers, and because they're markers and they don't dry as fast, I can do a little bit more than that. I may still have to touch it up, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. That's the flowers. They're looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and do some of the green, and then we can come back and do more if we need to. It's kind of a unique look. It's not as clean of a look as it would be if you were actually just stamping it with an ink pad or whatever. But that's okay too. It's part of the uniqueness of the card, right? And so it's okay for it to be kind of a unique look. Just a different texture. Let's see how we do with that. That's looking really good. All right. Let's see, maybe just a little bit over here. You can kind of see, and everything else looks good. I'm just going to touch up that one spot right there. I'm happy with that. I'm going to stop there for that. I think I'm going to give the flowers one more go round. Just make them just a little bit stronger color. I hope you're seeing most of this, as I'm kind of trying to keep this in the screen, and I'm not sure if I am, but I'm trying to. So here we go with the flowers one more time. Yes, there we go. Now I am happy with that. Okay, we'll set that aside to clean up later. Get this off my table. So yeah, today you're getting to see welcome to my mess kind of a thing. Okay, now I'm going to attach this to the front, And I attached it with, you could probably use regular adhesive. I didn't try that. I have Tombow adhesive for vellum, and I'm going to use that. It did not show through, and I was pleased with that, and I was able to fasten my vellum down all the way around without it showing, and so I was pleased with that. So that's why I used it. And that is the finished simple card, just like that. So it took a little bit more to do. I think what I'd like to do too, and I'm going to get me a piece here, I'm going to cut me a 1/4 inch strip of this shiny vellum, shimmery vellum. And as long as I'm here in cutting, well, that didn't cut very good at the end, I'm going to cut 2 of them so I can do my other card. That'll be okay. And I'm going to take and put a piece of tear and tape down the side. It's a 1/4 inch wide as well. And I'm going to put it right on the edge of my card right here and run it all the way down like that. And hunt for my scissors in the pile and cut that off. Okay. And then peel up the backing and make sure I've got shiny side up, and we will attach a shiny strip right up the side of the inside, just like that. Oh, that's the finishing touch, don't you think? Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's Simply Stamping Beautiful Cards Simply Made, and let me know what you think.